Parables were, well, little heavenly stories that Jesus told in a way that we could understand. You want to lower that? So verse 1. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. So remember, back then in the Jewish tradition, in the Jewish weddings, the bridegrooms, they would grab their lamps. So what would be happening is they would be walking around the town that they lived in. They would start at one of their houses and they would walk all the way to the groom's house, right? But they would take the long way, all the way around the town so people could throw their presents and rice and all those things. But the bridegrooms would go ahead and they would start in the daytime and they would have lamps with them. And then they would wait at the bridegroom's house with the lamps because it would take all day. It would take when the sun started to when the sun went down, and they would need the lamp so that they could see the bridegroom approaching in the nighttime. And then verse 2 says, 5 of them were foolish, and 5 of them were wise. For when the foolish took their lamp, they took no oil with them. But the wise took flask of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and slept. So they took their lamp so that they could see the bridegroom approaching. But it says 5 of them didn't take enough oil to relight their lamps if they ran out of oil. And it says that the bridegroom was delayed, so every single one of them fell asleep. But at midnight there was a cry, "Here is the bridegroom. Come out to meet him." Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise answered, saying, "Since there will not be enough for us and for you, go rather to the dealers and buy for yourselves." And while they were going to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the marriage feast, and the door was shut. Afterwards, the other virgins came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered, "Truly I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." So let's break it down. Who's the bridegroom that everybody was waiting for? It was Jesus, right? Then, obviously it says he showed up at midnight. When you're sleeping, midnight's like an hour that you're not expecting, right? It's in the middle of the night, literally, you don't expect anything to happen at midnight. Then obviously the bridegroom's return is Jesus' second coming. But who are the virgins? Right? The virgins is anyone who knows about Jesus. You know how I know that? Because it says that they were all waiting for him. Every single one of them was waiting for the bridegroom to return. They were all waiting for Jesus to come back. What are the lamps? Right? The lamps and the oil. Well, the oil must be their faith, the Holy Spirit. Because, see, we all are expecting Jesus to come back. And it also says that we all fell asleep. And we do all fall asleep. See, we all fall asleep in our daily routines. We all fall asleep in our life. We all fall asleep in our relationships. We all fall asleep in our family lives. We just fall asleep. We wake up and we start this routine. And inside that routine, sometimes it's church, sometimes it's ministry, sometimes it's your marriage, sometimes it's your work. We just fall asleep. See, because I'm starting to realize a very misleading thing in our life, and I say this kind of facetiously, but it's that phrase, "put God first," right? Of course, the phrase is true, but the way that we apply it sometimes just isn't right. Because picture a drawer that has 4 cabinets, right? If you ask 9 out of 10 people, where do you put God inside of this drawer? Everybody's going to say, in the first drawer, right? God goes first. But that's where we're messing up, because let's say we put God in the first drawer, then we put family in the second drawer, then we put work in the third drawer, then we put our friends in the fourth drawer. We got something wrong there. Because see, when you open up your family drawer, God should still be first in your family. When you open up your work drawer, God should still be first in your job. When you open up your friendship drawer, God should still be first in your friendships. Like every single part of your life, you should be doing it unto God. Every single part of your life, God should be first. In your school, in your work, in your ministries, in your family lives, even in your friendships. Like we tend to separate things, right? All right, so I know I'm going to do the God thing Sundays from 9 to 10:15. Maybe if I'm feeling extra spiritual that day, I'll do it from 11 to 12:15 too. You know, if I go to youth, if I go to school. But then when you go to work, it's God's kind of like separated. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to your friendships and it's, oh, those are my football friends. Oh, those are my bar friends. Those are these friends. No. God needs to be first in every aspect of your life. Because we tend to fall asleep. We tend to fall asleep. And if we're not glorifying God with those things in our life, then what are we doing? See, there's a couple things that scare me in this. So all 10 of them knew about Jesus. How come it says only 5 had enough oil to go and see Jesus? Isn't that scary? Is that telling us that there's a lot of us who are waiting on Jesus and think we're good? See, because they all thought they were good, right? They all had their lamps. Everybody thought they were good. But then half of them, when they woke up, didn't have oil. Hey, can I have some of yours? No, I have enough for me. You know what I mean? Why? Because your faith can't save somebody else. Your faith can help somebody else. Your faith can help somebody else come to Jesus, for sure. But it's your individual faith. It's not your church's faith. It's not your home group's faith. It's not your husband's faith. It's not your wife's faith. It's your faith that saves you. It's your faith that saves you. And how come even though they were there waiting for Jesus, when they went to the bridegroom, he said, "Truly, I say to you, I do not know you." Like that must be, like just thinking about that, like in my head, I'm like, I have to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen, right? But really, what can I do besides obeying his word and putting him first in every aspect of my life? Because I promise you, there's nothing in this world that is worth chasing after or running after than just making sure that I'm there on that day, knowing Jesus and have enough oil to meet the bridegroom. There's nothing worth chasing. But every single aspect of our life, we put God first in it. Not just, okay, I prayed for 5 minutes this morning, I'm good for the rest of the day. No. How does God view that? How am I glorifying God with this friendship? How am I glorifying God with my work right now? How am I glorifying God with the way I'm speaking? How am I That is how, what else do we have to do besides glorify God? And how do we glorify God? We just obey what his word says. We give thanks to him in any circumstance. Our circumstances do not define us. It's just how we choose to follow God in those circumstances that define us. Let's go to the next parable, verse 14. This is the parable of the talents. For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one, he gave 5 talents. To another, 2. To another, 1. Each according to his ability. Right? Then he went away. So we already see there's 3 different guys, the master gives one of them 5, one of them 2, one of them 1. He said each according to his abilities. Why? God is not going to give us more than we can bear, more than we can handle. And then we also know that if we can be entrusted with a little, then he'll start to entrust us with more. So let's go on. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had 1 talent went and dug into the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered me 2 talents. Here I made you 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But his master's answered to him, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew what I reap where I have not sown, and gathered where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the banker, and my coming should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away, and cast a worthless servant into the darkness, in the place where there will be weeping, and gnashing of teeth. So the master, so we know God, right, has allotted to us a certain amount at different times in our life, and he allots to us. See, I think it goes as far as everything. The parents you have at home, how much money you've got, the job that you have in the moment, the way you try to look at it, how much time you have, right? Your talents, everything. And the one who received a lot, he went and doubled it. You know, that's like saying, with the time that Jesus has allowed you to do, with the talents that he's given you, with the job that he's given you, with the ministry that he's given you, with the parents that he's given you, with the school that he's given to you, with your job that he's given to you, what are you choosing to do with it? What are you choosing to do with it? Are you choosing on returning an investment on it for Jesus? Are you choosing to take that opportunity to glorify him? Whatever circumstance you're in right now, what are you doing with it? Because it says to those who choose to do something with it, he multiplied it. And he said, enter, come in, enjoy with your master. But see, then, to the one, even though he only gave a little, he chose to do nothing with it. He chose to do nothing with it. He didn't go out. He didn't try to make interest for his master. He didn't try to spread the money for his master. You know, it's like when we have a little bit of time. You know, are we giving that time for Jesus? When we have the opportunities to spread his gospel, are we spreading his gospel? You know, we have opportunities to glorify God in our friendships, in our school, in our relationships, in our marriages. Are we doing that? Because it says, but the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And maybe some of you understand how real that is. That in the ways that we didn't glorify God, God has taken those things from us. He has. At least it's true in my life. Maybe he hasn't taken away from us permanently. But with what we do have, we must be thankful. What we do have, we have to make the best of it. What we do have, we cannot just lay on it. Look, he called him a slothful and unfaithful servant. So it doesn't matter if we've been given a lot, do something with it. Whether it be your time, money, treasures, talents. And if you've only been given a little, be careful, because even that little bit can still be taken away. All right, let's pray. God, thank you for today, Lord. Thank you for your word. Lord, I just pray that you give us the wisdom that we need, Lord, to do things the way that you want us to, the strength that we need to stand up against our flesh, Lord, and to stand in